Hello, everyone. I'm Gary,
I'm John.
and we're
Two bros doing shows.
Your wrestling podcast. Now that we're in a new year and we have a new Intercontinental Champion, Dean Ambrose. What? But the fact is, there was one saying that ran through most of our year this year, and it was.
I can write this shit.
And it happened a few times, but we weren't on this channel for the entire year, so we didn't get to say that the whole year. But we wanted to go back and say our four best of the year and then make some predictions about 2017. So, go for it.
Alright, so my first I could write this shit moment is when TJ Perkins won against Grand Metalik in the CWC finals. This was an amazing match, and I saw it coming because someone like TJ Perkins, who has a pedigree of wrestling for such a long time, was bound to get something out of it. And I'm just glad that he went from TNA to WWE and, become a decent competitor there.
Yeah, and to be honest, with TJ Perkins, you're talking about a guy who was taught by another guy who was taught by Shawn Michaels. These were all guys that were taught essentially Shawn Michaels' school of wrestling back when it was down in Southern California before he moved to Texas. So, wow. Anyway, my next one is after the success of the Shark Cage at November's NXT Canada, I predicted more Shark Cages. And then what happened as soon as Royal Rumble runs around and Mick Foley needs a way to make a neutralizer for the best friends? What does he pull out? A shark cage. Bum, bum, bum.
No, the only time that I'd actually seen the Shark Cage used was during the NXT tag team final match for the Dusty Woods Classic, and I'm glad that it's gonna get use in the main roster. And I think it could be, it could happen more than once this year, I think.
Probably should have happened to Maurice after all the havoc she's wrought. But anyway.
Oh, so my next one was Dean Ambrose getting the WWE title. I totally wrote that shit because it was Dean Ambrose versus both members of the Shield, I believe, right?
Yeah, that was at Battleground.
And this is right before the was it right before or right after the draft?
This was before the draft.
So, yeah. So I said that Dean Ambrose was going to get the title, and
I was a little wishy-washy about it. I wanted him to get the title, but I figured Raw wouldn't let it go because nobody really knew what was going to happen after the brand split, and at that point, no one knew about the Universal title.
Exactly. So everyone was thinking that the WWE title would stay on Raw. I kind of thought otherwise, and it turned out to be correct.
So, yeah. And then my final one for this year, which I fucking called everyone. Everyone said, "Oh, you that's never gonna happen. Cena's never gonna lose to AJ Styles at SummerSlam. He's John Cena." Well, guess what? John Cena done lost to AJ Styles at SummerSlam. And I wrote that shit. So,
So now we officially, now that we've gotten the previous year out of the way, there's a new year of wrestling upon us, and we have some predictions of our own.
so John, would you like to be the first one?
Yes, my first one is that Goldberg is going to win the Royal Rumble. Now, I know you don't agree with that. We'll get to your thing soon, but I believe that they're setting him up for a Universal title run. So,
Yeah, and it rather than waste a prediction, I'll just say it. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think he'll get eliminated, and him and Lesnar will eliminate each other. But I, with the way they are booking him, it seems like that's where they are headed. Especially if you saw what happened on Raw on Monday night. And so it's interesting because he does look like he's in good shape, but making him a believable candidate as champ is another story. He's gotta have some matches. He can't be a Brock Lesnar and just demand shit. Otherwise, his credibility goes way the fuck down.
oh, you mean like John Cena?
Excuse me, one guy's had one match in 10 years, and the other guy's been wrestling the entire time he's been gone?
Alright, so what's your...
Okay, my first one is that I think since this last year was a great year for independent wrestlers, I think this is going to be another independent wrestler that shows up on the scene, maybe as a surprise entrant for the Rumble, seeing as his contract is up in January. But Kenny Omega goes to WWE. Now, even if this doesn't happen for the Rumble, he can stall out with New Japan for probably another 6 months. But usually right around WrestleMania season is when we see the new stars pop out. So if he's going to show up as a big surprise for this year, the Rumble's going to be where it happens. John?
Okay, so my next prediction is that Sami Zayn is going to SmackDown. With everything that's been going on, once this whole Braun Strowman thing gets finally settled, I think that he's going to be going to SmackDown. They really don't have anything for him to do much on Raw, and I think him going after the Intercontinental title will be a good first step for him to becoming a major player in the bigger title scenes.
Oh, hey, how about we stick him in the Cruiserweight division?
Shut up.
Anyway, number 2 for me, Shinsuke Nakamura will move up to SmackDown and win the Intercontinental title before the end of 2017. Now, right now, he's the NXT champion. Yes, I realize that. So, he's probably not going to lose the title until sometime late, in the year, like SummerSlam-ish. So I would expect him to probably want to move up by that point because he'll probably get bored. And my guess is that the next one in line for that title is probably Bobby Roode. So because of his popularity and his ability in the ring. The way this goes down is that as soon as they find an appropriate heir for that title, Shinsuke's moving on up because they need him for as much as possible because those mid-card divisions are slim, if any, for Pickens right now. So, and I think Shinsuke would make a great Intercontinental Champion. I don't think we've seen an Intercontinental Champion like Shinsuke since Tajiri. So, it would be nice if that happened. And then from there, he could definitely move on up to whatever major title is on SmackDown at that time.
Yeah, speaking of Tajiri, they've actually been showing things for him on 205 Live. So he's going to be coming back. So that's exciting. All right, so my one, I guess this goes back to the first one, but I really do believe that Goldberg is going to win the Universal title. It's this whole thing in the making, really, and as much as it bothers me because he hasn't really earned it, he's just another one of those guys that's coming in for one last hurrah. And I get that, trying to raise the ratings of Raw and all that, but there are better ways to do it, like better matches, more matches.
Less cruiserweights.
Cruiserweight guys are awesome. It's just that I wish that they wouldn't try to, like, I don't know.
It does seem like they're throwing them under the bus a lot.
Yeah.
So, it could always have been those really shitty women's matches from about 8 years ago. So,
Yeah. All right, so what's your next one?
Anyway, Ty Dillinger, Shinsuke Nakamura, Bobby Roode, and Samoa Joe will be in the Royal Rumble. And, say it with me here, Ty Dillinger will enter as number 10. Honestly, I see a few NXT guys jumping into the Rumble. I mean, we've already seen them jump onto the main roster. Guys like the Cruiserweight Champion,
TJ Perkins. Oh, the Cruiserweight Champion.
Mr. Can You Handle This?
Oh, Rick Swann.
Yeah. Rick Swann is one of them. He's done double duty on NXT.
Mm-hmm.
There was another woman tonight who was on SmackDown just for the sake of being there so she could get beat the crap out of by Carmella. I mean, they trust her enough now to train someone from NXT. So, I think I see respect there. Enough respect for NXT to have a few of them in the Rumble.
Yeah. All right, so my next one is I think Baron Corbin's going to get a title this year. They seem to be pushing him a little bit and seeing how people feel about him, and it doesn't seem to be entirely negative. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, he surely beat the crap out of John Cena today.
Yeah, John Cena. And boy, what can I say about John Cena? Speaking of John Cena, one of my next one of the things I'd like to bring up is my next prediction is that John Cena will get his 16th and 17th title reigns in 2017. Now we all know he's shooting for a 16th, and that will be against AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble. Let's say he wins, and then AJ wins it back, and then John Cena's going to want his rematch. So this could be a rubber match situation where he could therein pass Ric Flair's streak. I think WWE's bold enough to do this because they did this 3 years ago with CM Punk and the WWE title. They did it last year with New Day and Demolition's title reign. So who's to say they wouldn't do something like that?
Well, let's hope not, but yeah, probably. So, I guess we're on to the last,
Your last one.
my last one, which is that Orton is going to leave the Wyatt family. Now, the only thing I can say to this is, of course, he's going to leave the Wyatt family. There was really not much of a reason for him to stay in there too much longer. And honestly, I think he's. I don't know. It was good for them. It brought the Wyatts up to another level, but I think they don't need him anymore. I think they're popular enough without him now.
I don't. Well, I disagree respectfully. I think he will leave eventually, sometime in 2017. But as far as the popularity thing, I don't know. I mean, they're either going to need Eric Rowan back, or they just need to say goodbye to Luke Harper and let Bray Wyatt be Bray Wyatt. I think Bray Wyatt is a much better entity on his own than with, holding a little seance with fucking people in the background and smoke machines and no fucking lights. Let's be real here. If you want to be the next Undertaker, then get a bunch of monks to hold flames for you and make you look like you're badass. Don't try to fucking have people go around you look like you're a badass, because you're a fat ass that looks like you're from Duck Dynasty. Honestly, it's unnecessary. I really feel like that's the only legit reason why they feel like they have to surround him with people that have muscle, because Bray Wyatt ain't got none. They're all made of fried chicken and southern cooking, honey. So
The hell did that come from?
So,
Honey.
but yeah,
Gonna make you scream like a bee.
But yeah, I honestly think that Bray Wyatt will probably get his day in the sun. It is coming. It was written in winter when he won the fucking Survivor Series. So,
All right. So what's your last prediction?
that the Shield will be reunited via the draft, as will AJ and the club. Now, I'm not sure what show these guys are all going to end up on. It's already been stated that Vince has a lot of and interest in AJ Styles. It has already been made painfully clear they want to reunite the Shield. So having all 6 on one show could make for a hell of a gang war.
That'd be interesting, but I'm not so sure. I honestly think that they're. I mean, like, yeah, a man can dream, but I just don't see them reuniting the Shield anytime soon. I mean, I want it to happen, but
Well, they've teased it for so long.
well, yeah,
And all of them are baby faces right now, which means it's possible. It is a possibility. So,
like I said,
as long as they all stay faces, that is and don't turn on each other, then, it's a possibility.
Yeah, well,
And right now they got Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns working together, which I never thought we'd see again after he stuck a chair in his back.
true. So there is that. I mean, maybe they're just waiting for if they have another draft or when they have another draft
WrestleMania.
to have them all together on one show.
Exactly. That's why I said they'll be reunited through the draft.
All right. So now we're not the only ones though that have predictions. We have our third honorary bro.
Please try not to fart on him.
I make no promises.
Please hold all farts till the end of the show. I'm very vulnerable right now. What's up, guys? What's up, bros? Happy New Year.
Hey, happy
What's
New
up?
Year.
Hey, Happy New Year.
So yes, I have two pieces of shit that I wrote for this year. So my first prediction.
Piece of shit one, piece of shit two.
Exactly, correct. My first prediction for 2017 is that Enzo and Cass will turn on each other, probably sooner than later, but they will reunite to become the Raw Tag Team Champions. It's about time. You know, they've been fan favorites forever, and they always lose. So it's time for them to get their comeuppance. I want to say, is it comeuppance time?
Yeah.
You guys?
Yeah.
I will say this to your support. The Revival are also moving up.
That's it. Yeah.
And they're, they were big rivals with Enzo and Cass.
Mm-hmm.
And now that the tag team titles, obviously New Day aren't getting them back anytime soon. So that whole division is going to get lit on fire. And I guarantee what might bring them back together, say around, if they broke up, say around WrestleMania, got back together, say around SummerSlam or something, they could have 3 months of funny ha-ha moments where Enzo's getting himself into friggin' trouble with his mouth. And then Big Cass finally decides to come back and save him for some stupid reason.
Yeah.
We have not seen the last of the leopard skin wheelchair. That is for sure.
So what's your next one?
All right. Yes. So my second prediction for 2017, I want to build on the Shark Cage. We at the Bros are very pro Shark Cage. So my prediction is that some fool is going to jump out of a shark cage into the ring. And I don't know who it's going to be. I mean, going through the Rolodex of wrestlers, I got to say Shane McMahon would probably be the most awesome.
Yes.
And he will jump. Don't do it, Shane McMahon. Don't become a legend. Don't jump out of a shark cage.
Dude, he jumped off a freaking Hell in the Cell and landed on the Undertaker. He already is a damn legend.
That's what I'm saying. Don't become even more legendary, Shane. Don't jump out of a shark cage. And if he were to jump out of a shark cage, it would obviously be laying on a table, James Ellsworth. He would receive the Shane McMahon shark cage.
Elbow drop.
Yes. But yeah, I don't know who it will be, but someone will jump out of a shark cage into the ring, and it will be glorious.
Yes.
So those are
Glorious.
I write this shit, so I'll let you guys do the rest of the show. I mean, yeah, we got freaking Dean Ambrose becoming Intercontinental title, so you guys probably some thoughts on that. So, all right, peace out. Happy New Year.
Yep, Happy New Year.
And as I stated, Dean Ambrose is our new Intercontinental Champion, and boy, just to touch on that just a little bit, what the hell do you think about this with Renee Young and freaking Maurice?
Basically, they're gonna at some point they're gonna have some sort of cat fight match.
I think it's gonna be a
going
mixed
on.
tag.
Mixed tag. Yeah, no, mixed.
No, Maurice Young or
Maurice.
Maurice Young, Renee Young. She'll go in there, man. She'll be straight up freaking culture shock or some shit like that.
I don't. I mean, honestly, they both don't strike me as the, wrestling type. Renee Young
Doy.
is well, yeah. So
They remind me of the Divas from about 8 years ago.
dude, they were the Divas from 8 years ago. At least I think so. But
Do you see this? This is the list. Do you know what happens when you make me look stupid? You make the list.
yeah, well, may put me on the list some other time. Anyways, with Dean Ambrose and The Miz having this feud, it's gonna be really interesting. I'm kind of not sure why they decide to push the whole Maurice Renee Young thing, but whatever.
I kind of like it. I was hoping Renee Young would just come out and beat the shit out of Maurice.
She really should. Instead of Dean getting slapped and her leaving, Maurice getting thrown out of the match.
Should have been Renee Young.
She should have come out and chased around the rings to backstage and started
Monty Python style.
Yeah, something like that.
Or just go out there and have her do dirty deeds to Maurice.
Oh my god.
Dude, everyone would mark out if Renee Young pulled off a fucking dirty deeds. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not sure she'd be able to, though. I'm not sure she has much wrestling experience, to be honest.
I don't think she has any wrestling experience. I think the whole reason that they're using these kind of semantics is because that's been the Miz's thing for a year.
Yeah. All right. So, is that it?
I believe that is it. However, we have not. We must remember to tell fans where they can reach us.
So, you can reach us Two Bros Doing Shows at Facebook, Two Bros Doing Shows at Two Bros Doing Shows on Twitter, and Two Bros Doing Shows at yahoo.com. And I believe that's it.
So, I'm Gary.
I'm John.
Top Guys.
Out.